welcome to Doing Okay. Today we are sort of doing a SUP. Keith wanted it to be a SUP, but we're talking about Boston Comic Con fandom culture. I'm Dan.
And I'm Keith.
And I'm Puppetoo.
Hey buddy, I'm Lars, and I'm glad to be here on YouTube, and it's pretty great, and I think everybody's great out there, and I'm say cookies, ha.
Hey Lars, you have an electrifying personality.
You really disturbed me, kid. Stay in school.
So I got these at Boston Comic Con. These are our fun friends. They're now
What are you talking about? This is
a staple of Doing Okay.
I've known him for years.
Oh yeah, you and Lars, you go way back. smoking behind the school.
Yeah.
Doing all
Hey,
the
kid, you want to smoke a doobie?
So, we're doing a video about stuff. So I went to Boston Comic Con this past weekend in Boston, if you can believe it.
Are you sure?
I think maybe.
Oh.
It was also called the Fan Expo 2017 Boston because they could not decide what they were going to call it.
Why?
I think there's politics going as far as they realize it's not really a Comic-Con anymore, but that's like what they've been called.
It's a nerd con.
So, yeah, it is. Fan Expo is actually a better title for it.
But it's just
But
more
also it's
confusing at
like,
the same time.
it's more confusing because they were still advertising as Boston Comic Con, but then there were all these signs that said Fan Expo, and then it's also confusing. It's also like, some of the people are like, oh, well, this is like the final nail in the coffin. The people who actually do like the comic stuff.
Right.
Are like,
also, it creates a humongous rivalry from the air conditioning exposition going on across the street.
oh, definitely.
Man,
definitely.
they hate each other.
Yeah. So I went, Keith did not.
I did not go.
We're going to talk about some of the highlights of my experience, but we're also going to talk about fandom culture and convention culture and all that jazz, where you buy puppets. Which
That's what it's about.
I didn't know that was what it was about until I saw this beautiful baby.
I have to say,
yeah,
I don't understand the appeal.
I love it. It's great. It's a Muppet and it's Pikachu. Also, you should have seen the widespread, beautiful array of all the puppets. Where they had a Beast Boy puppet and a Raven puppet. Yeah. There was just a massive array of Muppety puppeties.
Muppety puppeties.
And it's Pika Puppet.
Pika Pup.
He looks like a Muppet and
Puppeteer.
a Pika. Have you ever had any desire, not necessarily to go to this particular event, but to go to any sort of convention or fan gathering?
I remember when I was younger, I always wanted to go to the anime Boston.
Anime Boston, yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily still do because I feel differently about that kind of gathering in big places with a big crowd. I just am kind of over
crowds.
Excitement.
Yeah. I'm over excitement.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like I hate parades. I hate amusement parks.
Yeah.
Like
you hate amusement parks?
Yeah. I just you're in the line the whole time.
Oh my god.
You're, sweating all day.
Oh my god.
Like it's okay when you're on the roller coaster, but most things suck.
Oh my god.
The food sucks.
Oh my what? You don't like fried dough and ice cream?
I like fried dough a little bit, but
the food doesn't suck. You get all sorts of.
But that's
fun
not
food.
a meal. Like, what if I'm hungry? Like, what am I gonna eat for a?
Oh my god.
What if I want to get a sandwich? What am I gonna get? A garbage hot dog?
You need a sandwich every day?
No, I'm saying something like a sandwich. Something that actually.
Most places have full pizzas you can get.
Like what? Like how much is it gonna cost? Like $30?
These are 80 now. We should have come up during our Are You Old video.
This is not what this video is about. But, so I remember being younger, and especially when I was big into Dragon Ball Z, being like, oh, well, these are the kind of things you can only get at those kind of places, and the action figures that were special, and the updates from what was only in Japan and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll collectibles.
And before, it was so easy with the internet and smartphones to just get what you wanted. It was back when you had to get a magazine, for all that. So that kind of appeal was different. Now I'm kind of like, well, I could order something off of Amazon. Yeah. I'm watching things on Crunchyroll. Yeah. What?
Where is it? So do you not in any way understand the appeal of seeing, celebrities in real life, seeing them, whether it be meeting them or even just watching them give a discussion or anything?
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think that personally I would get more of watching a video where you can see the person as opposed to standing and being crowded and then not being able to see them in person. And that's just
Yeah.
That's just my personality.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense. I mean, I feel like a lot of people don't go to sporting events for similar reasons.
And it's not that I wouldn't have fun at all if I went. It's just like,
you don't know
for me to like say like, I'm gonna go do this now.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody said, hey, I'm kidnapping you when we're going here, I would say, okay, but, you know.
If somebody kidnapped me, I would allow them to kidnap me.
So, you know.
Does cosplay hold any appeal to you?
I am mildly interested. I just don't, if I was to ever do anything, I would want to put more effort in than I have time to do right now. I wouldn't want to have a half-assed thing or, you know. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing is I've been very half-hearted about cosplay at things like this and Halloween for a while now because I'm like, I mean, I guess I'll do this, but I want to do something that's more all out, but I don't really have the time or the... And I feel like, for me, a lot of it's, I don't want to just dress up as something to dress up as something. I want to actually look like the thing. I don't want to look like the shitty version of the thing. Or like, you know, so I'm just like...
That's how I feel too. Like, I feel like if I was going to do anything cosplay, I would want to make it look good and make it not look too Halloween costumey. But at the same time, I would want it to be comfortable. And I would want it to be like a casual, like street clothes kind of version of something that actually makes sense. And even if it's not exactly the way it looks, it's the way they might look in real life. Because I think that's more important, to make it look more real as opposed to making it look closer to what it is.
There were some simple ones that I was like, oh, that's like a smart idea where you are capturing the essence of the thing, but you're not actually having to change that much. Like, the one that jumps to mind is, I don't know, you probably don't know this character. This character named Little Mac, who's from Super Punch-Out, which is an old Nintendo boxing game. And he has a very distinctive, like, bright green shorts, bright green boxing gloves, and like a black tank top. And this guy just wore that, a very easy thing to wear, and he looked great, and that's not a character most people would think to do, and so, like, you stand out, and you have these bright green things, so you stand out more, too. And so there were a few different things like that, or even, like, someone just dressing up as, like the Animaniacs, where they didn't actually change that much. They mostly just, like, had blue stuff and, like, a red cap and some, you know, things sticking out, but I was like, oh, but that's not necessarily a character I would think to do, so I appreciate that.
Now that you're talking about this, I'm remembering, I think there was a character that I kind of wanted to when I was younger, which would have been Hiro Yui from Gundam Wing. And that's a pretty understated thing. He, you know, had like a green tank top, and in the series he mostly had black shorts, but in the movie he had jeans and a jean jacket for most of the thing, and that's like his casual clothes. Obviously he had a spacesuit and stuff like that too. But like, I feel like that's the kind of thing where like I could maybe do, if I cut my hair slightly differently, it's kind of like the same kind of messy texture sticking out and stuff like that. I don't know if I would want to shave though. That would be a hassle.
I mean, that's been a problem for me too. But there aren't, I mean, I can't think of that many characters easily that have a beard, glasses, and are overweight. There just aren't that many characters that look like me. So it's, I mean, as far as like, I mean, I'm sure there are characters like that, but not characters that have like distinctive. I mean, there are characters in like comedies where like the stupid fat friend, but like, there's not many.
Well, when you did the Wolverine, was it 2 years ago?
I've done Wolverine a few times.
Well, whatever it was when we went to Salem.
That was 2 years
ago. I thought that was pretty good. You know, I mean, that was like, you know, a pretty good fit, I think, you know, and that made sense to me.
And I did, so that's the thing, we've done Wolverine a few times because I feel like that fits me okay. And that's like, last year what I did was I did him as Logan, which is in the most recent movie where he's older, so I, you know, made my hair grayer and I wore the like crumpled up like suit with like, you know, that he had instead of like having like the more like superhero-y stuff. It was more just like, oh, I'm wearing a messed up suit and I have my claws and I have my gray hair and my beard and so yeah, I mean, there's stuff like that, but I mean, I will say, no matter what, I mean, whether you're in costume or not, being at them, like, honestly, seeing cosplay in real life is, like, almost worth it in of itself, because you see so many different types of things, and characters that it's like, for someone who is a nerd, it's very heartwarming to be like, this is such a, like, random-ass character that, like, not only would
somebody else knows
and cares about enough to do this. Like, you know, like, it's very cool, and it's been a very interesting thing, because now I've gone to like 3 or 4 of these Boston Comic Cons now.
Whoa, high roller.
And seeing every year the evolution of what is like sort of hot this year, but also very particularly the evolution of major female characters in cinema, and how every year there's a whole new slew of women with this new character. And like this year, obviously, there's tons of Wonder Womans everywhere you look, and like there were like none last year.
Right, and that makes because of the movie.
Yeah,
so.
but I just think that's like the fact that women keep having these new outlets. Like a couple years ago, it was Rey. A couple years before that, it was Agent Carter. I just think that's kind of cool, especially when you see little like 4-year-old girls running around in these things too. I think that's really cool.
Well, in relation to that, why don't we bring up this? Because this surprised me.
Oh, this, yes. Yeah. All right, so we got my Batman Beyond shirt that I bought.
This is pretty great. And this, you know, the fact that they had this and not in like a weird redesigned way, but it actually looks like the TV show.
Legitimate thing.
Yeah, like it really shows the cycle that we're in right now, which is like nostalgia from the 90s. That's like our generation is like, where's the things that I like, which is Batman Beyond. You know, Batman Beyond was a big deal.
Yeah.
And did we ever talk about Batman Beyond in a video?
We haven't like legitimately talked about it. I'm sure we'll do a back in the day on it.
We could even do a Batman back in the day. That would be good.
Yeah.
But this is a good show.
Yeah. A great show. And there's so much stuff. It's cool because you have all this official stuff. You have, there's tons and tons of t-shirts like this. Some of which I'm like, I assume this one's like actually official. But this this one looks super official, but there's also definitely shirts that like I've never seen this shirt before. Like there was a Doctor Strange one that was like super psychedelic from like when like the 70s art when they were clearly on drugs while doing the art. Like literally, I'm not one of the brightest, most neon shirts I've ever seen in my life. I was very close to buying it. But so
hey kids, you see my new art for Doctor Strange, man? Is oh man, it got me going crazy.
So in addition to all the official stuff, there's Artist Alley, which is just this whole huge section filled with unofficial art for things, and
illegal art.
I've never understood how this works because it's very clearly illegal. Hey,
buddy, you want to check some artwork? Yeah,
these are small ass people.
The first one's free.
They're not all paying for like the official rights to every single thing that they have done, but they're literally sitting there next to
the real
legitimate art, like full on comic book artists that do this for professionally. I don't understand how this is allowed. Yeah. I guess it's okay. I'm pretty sure Pokemon Company did not get paid for this.
No.
I'm happy that this is allowed, but I never understood it.
Yeah.
In such an official setting. It'd be one thing if it was like on Etsy or something, but this is like literally comic book people.
Where you would be able to easily enforce it.
Yeah. So I don't know. But it's freaking awesome. If you're talking about the things where there's the esoteric shit that you would never expect to see this thing here. Even like we were talking about the cosplay.
So the name
thing.
of the episode is Esoteric Shit. Is that a new electronica band?
Yes, obviously. I thought it was so cool seeing a coup.
Yeah. You showed me that picture. That was really cool.
That was really cool. It's huge. Yeah. And and the artists there's so many different kinds of artists there that I think. Obviously we have stuff like the puppets. We have all these watercolor people. We have all these
just to be
sketch
clear,
artists.
People are not artists. They're people made out of watercolor.
Yes, watercolor people.
Pretty great.
That'd be pretty awesome, actually. I'd be a fan.
It's like Chalk Zone, but it's like watercolor zone.
Yeah. And the cool thing, too, is you get to actually talk to the artists, and even if you don't buy anything, it's like nice to compliment them, so they like at least get some feedback, and you can take their card and look back at their stuff later online or whatever if you don't like want to spend all that money right then. And it's just, I think that's really fun. It's really fun actually talking to people who make stuff that you care about. I talked to the puppet person, and he had used to make them, I think at Sunday school with the kids to try to keep them involved with church or something. And one of the mothers commissioned her to make a Batman one.
And trying to keep the kids off the street. You want to run around and me and whoa. Don't do drugs, kid.
That's tricky. Don't do drugs. I'm going to run you through some of the events involved.
Ooh, the events.
The events involved.
Oh.
So now first, I missed 3 of the bigger things, which was a sadness.
Jerk.
I missed Alan Tudyk, which was a very sadness, who is from Firefly. If people don't know, we played Wash in Firefly. He now has a show called Con Men about people at cons.
What's his... I'm a feather on the wind was his famous line?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Leaf on the wind?
I thought it was a feather in the breeze or something. A leaf in the breeze.
A feather in my cap.
I'm a feather in my cap was his famous line.
Yeah.
He was definitely, when you saw him riding into town on a pony, you knew what was up.
the other two big panels that I missed, one was the Doctor Who panel, which was two of the old the old Doctor and the old companion, Karen Gillan, who is also in Guardians of the Galaxy now, and it's about to be in Jumanji. But as you can't see because we can't move the camera, but there's a poster right over here from the last time that I did get to see Karen Gillan and Doctor Who, Matt Smith. But what I did go to, so the first thing I went to with Olgie Bolgie was the Uncharted 4 panel with Troy Baker and...
Which we still have not finished.
No, we should probably do that.
We should probably do that right now. Okay, pause the video. Let's go.
Very happy that I wasn't spoiled by that panel. So yeah, Nolan North, he plays Nathan Drake in the PlayStation franchise, Uncharted, and...
But was Solon South anywhere in the vicinity?
Yeah, so much.
So much vicinity.
And Troy Baker, who is voice actor extraordinaire. He is Batman in the new Batman games. He is Joel from The Last of Us. He is in... like 5,000 other things too. He is also Lego Batman and Lego Batman video games. They were fucking amazing.
You showed me that clip. That was
so. Well,
great.
you saw that was the clip I showed you. Wasn't even the thing. Wasn't even their panel. That was a separate panel. So this panel was just the two of them, and it was just like Q&A and people asking them questions. And they just had so much chemistry. They just clearly have spent a lot of time together. They're both very witty. And I mean, there's a great part that I'm gonna probably throw in here where they're like, "Okay, so Nolan North, you play the Penguin because you're the Penguin in the Batman video games right now, and Troy, you're Joker because you've been Joker in previous games. Now argue about why you're the better Batman villain."
I don't think that Bat respects you the way he respects me, my power.
Well, I say, good man, you don't have a sophisticated bone in your body. Well, yes. You see, my dear penguin.
Exactly. The great thing about that panel is I was very close, so I could actually see them very well without using the monitor.
You were like rubbing their ankles. You're like,
I must have.
He was like, hey guys.
We're flying. It's the rubber band.
Oh my god. Something was off with the sound system on that one. Whenever they were like talking quietly, it was like a bunch of weird mumbles and you couldn't really totally understand what they were saying. And the next panel I went to that day, so this was Saturday. I missed, the one big thing that I missed was Friday I couldn't go, so I couldn't go to the Stan Lee panel, which was a very sad thing for me.
Yeah, you were saying that was like your most
supposedly his last appearance on the East Coast. So that's very sad.
Until he becomes a brain in a jar that they wheel around.
Well, on a similar note, not quite that insane. Apparently, he's filmed a bunch of cameos for future movies. So even if he dies, they're gonna keep having him be in
that
movies.
Makes sense.
I know, but it's kind of weird.
I mean, let's be honest. If there's anyone that's gonna do that, it's gonna be him. And also, if there's anyone that's gonna be a brain in a jar, it's gonna be him as well.
Well, so I forget. I think it might have been Guardians of the Galaxy. Recently, they had a cameo with him where it was revealed that he was talking to the Watchers, which in Marvel Universe, the Watchers are these weird, like, celestial beings that are tasked with just watching everything that happens in history and recording it and never interfering with it. And it implied heavily that he is supposed to be one in this world, and that's why he's been in all of the movies.
That's
and that he's technically the same character. He's always the same character, even though he's acting differently because he's just putting himself into all the important situations.
Right, he's a spy.
Yes. Now, I think that would have been a good point to just end it. Like, be like, oh, that's the reveal. Now we're done. But apparently they're just going to keep doing it forever, and then it will be weird because he'll be dead. But that was a tangent.
It'll be weird because he'll be dead.
And I'll be sad.
That's what they want you to think. You got your puppets here. You got your Pika puppets.
Yeah.
You got your weird mustache crazy guy. You got your Batman. You got your wonderful digital clock display. You got your lens cap. You got your laptop and a digital recorder.
Okay. My second panel I went to on Saturday was the Daredevil panel.
Yeah. Did you dare to go?
I dared to go, and he is one charming motherfucker.
One charming devil.
Oh, that was good. Wow! That was shocking. He was a delight. He was a delightful British man. Now, one thing you have to deal with in circumstances such as cons,
is the security takes you away when you're rubbing the celebrity's legs.
Well, similar to that.
Similar to that, but slightly unrelated.
Is that the people come up and ask questions are a little horrifying some of the time.
What do you mean?
There are some very cringy people asking you some very cringy things when you allow someone to walk up to a microphone and in public start talking to a celebrity.
You're saying open mic is dangerous.
Yes, I am in fact saying that. I believe at some other bigger conventions they screen people a little bit more.
What are you going to ask? Yeah, here's your give us an index card. What are you going to ask? What's your name? Where are you from?
It's just, I mean, and it's impressive when you get a good celebrity up there who is able to take the really cringy thing and like just make it fun and roll with it. Like someone came up and was like literally had like the stereotypical comic book guy voice, was like, did you know that Daredevil has a connection to Ninja Turtles? Because the Ninja Turtles, the accident that made the Ninja Turtle. And I was just like, oh. I mean, like,
according to my research.
And I'm just,
tell him, Barry, tell him.
And I'm just like, first of all, it's like basically is a question. Second of all, just because he's an actor doesn't mean that he knows everything.
The entire franchise.
Yeah, and so like,
well, here's the thing. To that person, it's not about I want to know. It's not about I want to know. It's I'm showing up. You, Mr. Big Shot. You think just because you played this character, you know more about him than me. Yeah. That's what that kind of person is trying to do.
Potentially, I mean, it's hard to tell, but
But great character idea. We have to do a skit of like the nerds asking at a panel.
Thankfully, he actually did know most of it.
Yeah.
And so that was helpful. And there was some cool stuff because the Defender show is coming out soon, which has Daredevil in it. And so we got a little bit of tidbits of him talking about that process and making it. Tidbits. So that was fun.
The challenge for the writers was how do you get these 4 people in a room and then how do you make them stay there? And a lot of the most interesting scenes in the show, I think, are when all 4 of us are together for the first time and figuring out, you know, what the relationships are, what the dynamics are.
So that was Saturday. That was a good time. I bought some pop vinyls. I took some videos.
Pop vinyls?
There was like the pops over there. See the pop? They're too far for us to get.
Oh, the big head guys.
The big head guys. Yeah, okay. Insert big head guys here, Daniel.
I thought you meant like a record or something.
Yes.
Like
I
got those pop tunes on vinyl,
I got
kids.
them pops. Them popsicles.
Gather around, kids. I got them pop vinyls.
Now, I said popsicles, and that reminded me of another shortcoming of such events. Much worse than the amusement parks of what you spoke of.
No food.
Food at these things is fucking the worst.
Okay. Okay, so
there's nothing all that close by. Thankfully, the next day we looked further and we found a Jimmy John's. That was the best we could do. The first day, we get these... There's so many panels back to back, and you want to make sure you get into them, and you don't want to miss them. And
they're in different parts.
Yeah, long lines and stuff like that. They're in a bigger venue this year because they had more celebrity guests, which was smart. They got more people in, which is nice. But we were getting a late lunch. We had to wait in a long line for lunch, and I was like, I'm really hungry, so I'm just gonna get 2 things of chicken fingers, even if like they're expensive or whatever. I was gonna do it.
$75 later.
$20 for these 2 things of chicken fingers. So bad.
They were raw.
They were burnt to fuck, and they smelled bad. And I was very unhappy.
And each order came with 3 chicken fingers.
There was a significant amount. Honestly, I ended up having more food than I wanted because it was bad.
Because you didn't want it.
Oh my god, it was so
because
bad.
Because any of it would have been more than you wanted.
Oh, it was really bad. But I had to gulp it down because I needed something in my stomach.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Gulp it down?
Garf it down.
Garf? Gulp?
Gulf. Garf. I've heard garf. Gulp.
Gulp? Wharf? I think wharf it down. Like you wharfing something down?
I'm gonna wharf you down. If you could use wharf.
That was backwards.
Hey, buddy, I just wharfing on down. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. So then day 2. Day 2 was interesting. So we went to this Tunes event. It was called like Toon City,
like cartoons,
Toonatopia. Yeah, it will say it in the video because there'll be a picture that I put in.
No video, just us doing hand gestures.
So there was this cartoon extravaganza, which I did. This is what I showed you. So this is a panel where there was a bunch of voice actors, some of which I knew, some of which I didn't, but they were all big deal.
I was not invited,
No.
rudely so. I've been working on this new character, Lars, for about 17 years now, and,
Your invitation got lost in the mail.
I got a few rumors that I might be contacted, but in the end, I think it might have got lost in delivery.
Don't tell him he sucks. So we had a bunch of major voice actors. Yeah. There was Winnie the Pooh. There was Troy Baker, Nolan North.
I thought it was Tigger.
But it was also Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he does both.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive. Anyway, I clearly don't know voice actors as well as I should have, but they were doing scenes from The Princess Bride, and they were doing them they were on the fly. The MC was giving them characters to play from The Princess Bride, and then characters that they impersonate to do that character as. So they'd be like, Troy Baker, you're playing Buttercup, and you're doing it as RoboCop.
And it was basically like, whose line is it anyways?
Yeah, like Olga really wanted to go, and I was like, okay, it sounds like it could be fun. I like these voice actors. Mm-hmm. I'm not like a huge fan of Princess Bride. I've only seen it once. I think it's okay.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's at least it was a good choice because like I knew what was going on and could easily follow because they were jumping from scene to scene and they were changing the characters between them. But once I was there, it was pretty hilarious. They had some really good jokes with Nolan North was just hamming it up really good.
I mean, the one clip that you showed me quickly, it seemed pretty great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we had to leave early, which I was sad about. Mm-hmm. But we had to do that so that we could get in line for the next panel, which ended up being the hit of the event.
Hit single off Dan's new record. Pop Tunes, Pop Vinyl.
Pop Vinyl. So this is John Barrowman, who I assume you do not know.
No.
John Barrowman is he's a bit of an LGBT icon. And he's known for being in Doctor Who, and then the Doctor Who spinoff he led, which was called Torchwood. Doctor Whom, yes. Mm-hmm. And then he was also in the Green Arrow show and stuff like that. But he is such a showman. Like everybody else, they have like a moderator there asking questions and running it through. He comes in, he never sits down. He doesn't have a moderator, and he is basically just doing like a stand-up routine at the beginning there. He comes in, whips off his jacket, is wearing a Doctor Who dress and high heels.
What does a Doctor Who dress even mean?
So there's I assume you know the TARDIS, the blue police box. Yeah. And so a lot of people, like at the cons especially too, a lot of girls will wear these like blue dresses that like have like the police symbol and stuff. Okay. So he comes in, he was that, and everybody goes, "Oh, it's crazy."
Everyone's like, "What?"
he's very theatrical, and he just completely captures the audience. He did that promoting the fact that Doctor Who just announced that the new Doctor is going to be a female, which I believe is the first time they've ever done that. It's a big deal because, so I don't know how much do you know at all about Doctor Who, anything?
Very medium to small amount.
Do you know that at least that the premise being that he regenerates every once in a while and comes in a new form with a new actor? Yeah. So they've like officially been like, fuck it. It's the same character now. He's just a woman. And it doesn't matter. And so that's obviously been like a big hit with both women and a lot of the LGBT community because it's like gender non-conforming, gender doesn't matter, you're still you, all that stuff. So he was saying some really great stuff about that, but then he told some like amazing, crazy stories that I am not going to be able to like even remotely bring them out as the way that he did.
Because they're too inappropriate.
Well, I'm going to talk, so like apparently recently he was like live streaming from his hot tub and his husband came in completely naked and came behind him and he was on Facebook Live and it was everywhere with his penis out and his husband did not know that he was doing this.
Hey, that's the story, but it's always about the calculated publicity. And that's what it's always about.
So then he was talking about how like it was taken down on like all the media sites, so they were like, fuck it, we don't care. And then like it's going viral underground.
See, exactly. Yeah. It's the calculated publicity.
But then he was talking about how he went to go visit his in-laws, and they're like, John, I heard that Steven's penis was all over the internet.
Good heavens!
It's like, maybe you should tell him to, and then of course he's doing his voice. Yeah. Maybe you should tell him to not do that. And then his father-in-law comes in and he goes, why? He's well hung. And it was great. Also, the husband was in the audience at the time, and she was just making fun of him the whole time. So many good stories. He told a story about how someone asked him about an embarrassing thing that happened to him.
Other than that,
I don't think he found that embarrassing. Where apparently one day when he was younger, he was doing a performance for a show, and he started farting while he was doing the performance, and then he realized he was pooping, and then he realized as he was doing kicks out, and it was hitting the audience because it was going out from under his thing.
What?
And he was like, what the fuck is going on? He comes back, his understudy had put a laxative or something in his drink and was laughing his ass off. And so he was
At
literally...
what age?
He was in, I think, high school.
Jesus Christ. What the hell?
So he was literally...
What high school play understudy? This is like from a bad sitcom.
I know, seriously. He literally was kicking his poop at people in the front row.
What the hell? That is either a cleverly conceived lie or the most insane thing that's ever happened.
A couple of the other great moments.
Okay.
One of the people's asking a question. He goes, "Oh my God, you're so hot. Come up here." And, ask me that question up close. So he comes up and he goes, "Oh, are you single?" And he goes, No, I'm with my girlfriend. He's like, where's she? And he's like, "Oh, she's hot too. Bring her up." So then they're both up there together. And he asked them a question about what's something that you did to goof off on set? And he talked about like having his balls hanging out on set and stuff. And then he goes to the girl, like, "Do you have any questions?" She's like, "I'm okay." And then he's like, to the guy, he's like, "Oh, do you have any other questions?" And he's like, "Well, I have a question for her." Goes on one knee, proposes to his girlfriend on stage.
So it must have been...
It was completely... He said at the end of it, he said, "We planned this." The girlfriend had no idea.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. and it was pretty awesome.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty great. He ended by performing Copacabana. It was quite the experience.
Her name was Laura. She was a showgirl.
So that was a very nice way to end out the day. He is quite an interesting human being.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, so that's most of my experience. I thought it was a really fun year. I'm looking forward to going in next year. I hope that I'll get my shit together and actually cosplay next year.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
A velociraptor. Yep.
Like devouring somebody's entrails.
Yep.
Nice.
Olga can be the entrails. I'll just drag her around.
Olga can be the entrails. Well, put that on a t-shirt.
Doing okay.
I'm gonna text her. Dan said you're the entrails.
Yeah. Well, so now I have a final question for you, but this could easily be a whole other video. So I don't know if you want to do a cursory...
I feel like for every video we do, we mention one to three videos that we're gonna do as a spin-off.
Yeah. So you could maybe give a preliminary answer here. Maybe we could have a bigger answer. It also sort of ties into previous discussions we've had. Do you think you're not a fan of pop culture? Like modern pop culture?
Not a fan of pop culture.
Like, it seems like, generally speaking, you don't connect with... Like, I don't... Like, outside of the fact that there's a few anime things here and there, there's a widespread of things at this con, and I don't know that you'd actually care about almost any of them.
I think that's probably an accurate statement.
Yeah.
I don't know to what degree it's like a blanket statement.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty accurate, and I think that's kind of something that we can definitely have this as a bigger video, but I'd say that's it.
Yeah.
I probably don't connect to pop culture.
Yeah. Now, you do like Let's Plays and video games and YouTube.
Yeah.
Would you have any interest in going to like a PAX or a VidCon?
Again, like, I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna be conversating with anybody that I watch, and even if I would, it'd be like, well, that's cool, but like, so what, you know?
Yeah. So there's nobody, in general, is there no one that you like want to meet that inspires you, or that you think would be someone that would be exciting to meet them in person, or someone that you watch all the time? But
so I watch Markiplier all the time, and I
Yeah.
think that I can definitely take some tips from that and like think about like how you can improvise and make characters and things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I would feel fulfilled just being like, hey man,
hey dude,
you're short in real life. Hey, everybody tells you that. Isn't that great? You know, like
yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I thought about paying for like a signature or whatever, and I didn't this time, and I was just like, I just can't think of a single thing I would say that would in any way be different than the same things that they've heard 5,000 times today.
Tell you what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to be on a panel.
Yeah.
Let's rock this YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Because like that's
people who suck.
Yeah. What?
That's our panel.
Mishaps. You know, because for me, the creation is a big part. So like I'm consuming a lot of things, but a lot of things I'm consuming is to turn around to create.
Yeah.
And whether it's YouTube or just whatever, like I am never happy if I go like a week without making something. Whether that's, you know, playing music, doing a video, making art, poetry, like repairing a briefcase, doing leather work, like anything. Like I need to be creating something or like even like gardening, just like that's like who I am. Like I always want to turn something into this creative force. Yeah. So for me, what would be far more rewarding than like saying, hey man, I love your videos, and be like, I'm gonna be there someday. Maybe, maybe not. But even if not, like I have that attitude and I can just roll with that.
Cool.
See you in 5 years. See you in 5 years.
See you once YouTube doesn't exist anymore. We'll start Ziff.
Ziff? That definitely exists.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's something called Ziff. Let's think of a good one. So what, is it a video sharing
site? I mean, I still like Toodles, but that's not really that's not for video sharing, that's a social media.
So what's a good video site after YouTube dies?
GrabTab.
GrabTab? That sounds like a video sharing site, but it sounds like one of those illegal ones. So, all right. Hey,
Vidtopia.
Tune in next week when we launch our illegal streaming site, GrabTab. Remember to get your free discount. Mention our name, Doing Okay, to get 10% off your illegal videos.
Grab that tab by the horns.
By the...
Grab that tab.
Grab that tab. Hey, let's make this outro even worse.
Yeah.
Well, one more worse thing for the outro.
Right, no, I have to sing to you. You ready?
Okay, yeah. Like to this guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Wow.
You're everything I wish I could be.
Wee wow.
If I could fly higher than a pigeon, will you be the wind beneath my wings?
Do, re, fa, sol, la.
Check out GetThatTab.com.
That's totally not the joke.